Good evening. So, this should have been yesterday, but I had a really bad Wednesday and I decided that coming on Facebook Live and trying to be all jolly and happy wasn't happening yesterday. I had one of those days where just anxiety just rules everything and it was just too much, and I set everything up ready to do my Facebook Live last night and then went, this is a really bad idea. I don't want to do it tonight. Let's cancel and do it tomorrow when I'm feeling a bit more with it and less just, yeah. So that's what I chose to do. So I'm hoping that somebody joins me tonight because it should have been yesterday and normally it will be Wednesday nights. I couldn't do last week because I broke my hand, didn't I? Well, I might have broken my hand. It's not actually been x-rayed because they think I've broken my scaphoid bone, which is sort of here, and it doesn't x-ray very well, and particularly when it's a fresh injury. So they've not x-rayed it, that and the pregnant thing, so they haven't x-rayed it. So we're treating it as if it's broken. If it still hurts on Monday, I have to go back and probably have a cast put on, and probably then won't be able to drive, and then I might as well go on maternity leave now. So I'm really hoping it stops hurting. It's not as sore as it was, hence why I'm back doing Facebook Live, and hopefully I'll be alright on Monday. Stampin' Up things, because I do have Stampin' Up news as well. There are two things I want to tell you about before I get into this video, because I have 3 cards for you today, because I feel really guilty I didn't do last night. So there's 3. So the first thing is Bonus Days is back. Now I love this promotion, it's so fun. Every time you spend £45 in July, you get a voucher code to spend £4.50 in August. What happens in August? The new Christmas catalogue comes out in August. You're going to want stuff out of this, I can guarantee it, because it is brilliant. So, spend out of this catalogue, the annual one, this month, and then get £3 to spend, get it the right way around, in this one next month. I think that's a pretty good deal. That, and even if you don't want anything in here, I don't know why that would be, but it also means you can stock up on things like the new seal adhesive, which I haven't got yet. I'm still working on snail because I forgot, didn't I? I forgot to put seal in my pre-order, so that comes on this pre-order, which I haven't put in yet either. I've written it, I just haven't actually put it. I haven't clicked the actual checkout button because I'm just not sure if I've finished shopping because it's really good, this catalogue. So that's that. Bonus Days. Spend £45 this month, get £4.50 voucher for next month. It doesn't matter how many times you spend £45. So if you spend £90 this month, you'll get £9 to spend next month. That makes sense? Same as Sale-a-bration. So yeah, that's basically it. So the next thing, I've just released my July Code Club code. So if you're going to order this month, and the details for the code, if you're watching on Facebook, is up there, and if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down here. When you spend less than £150 in my shop with me, put that code in and you will be entered into the club and you will get something free next month. I haven't decided what I'm sending yet, and I'd like to keep it a surprise. Haven't decided what I'm sending this month yet, and I know it's the second of the month and I'm really bad. But hey, never mind. So that's that. Other thing about catalogue, going back to catalogues, I'm really bad. I'm really sorry. So I thought that my blog emailed me when you put your details in one of the forms on it. So there's a couple of forms on there. One's catalogue, request catalogue. And I've just checked and it doesn't. Which means that I do have about 6 of the people who want these, which I will send out this weekend. If you want one, drop me a message probably on here, and I will put your name in the pile of catalogues. If you want this one, I'll be adding the link to get one of these probably at the weekend. If you shop the last 12 months, you'll get one automatically. Otherwise, pop your details in. No worries. Right, shall we get making? Because I don't want to be here all night, because I haven't had my tea yet and I'm a bit peckish. And I've got 3 cards to get through. So let's turn you around. Sorry, I get really close now when I do this bit. Turn you around and tilt you on down. And adjust my camera. I think the cat's been playing with the stand because everything's shifted and moved and everything. So it's one of those days today. It's been one of those weeks. So I thought we would have a play with the Lovely You stamp and die bundle. I am in love with this stamp set. This stamp set reminds me of one we had probably 5 years ago that had these cute little kind of image, like floral images, and then some really nice sentiments in. And I can't for the life of me remember what it was called, and I know that I sold it. But this one, that was photopolymer, I think, and this is cling matte red rubber, which is fantastic. And this punch, which is really clever. So I'm going to show you how this works, and we've got 3 cards to make with this. The other thing we're going to use today is the new in colours, because I'm just in love with them and I haven't really had to stamp with them very much. I've used Just Jade, and I think that's the only colour I've actually stamped and inked. So, shall we use some? I'm going to use some other colours. So, first card is a card that I actually made at the weekend. And I gave it to my mum yesterday because she'd ordered a card from me for her friend for her birthday this coming weekend. So I can't show you the sample because it's already left my craft room. But it would have done, even if I'd have managed to go live yesterday, it would still have already left my craft room because I gave it to her yesterday afternoon. So I have got a card base of Misty Moonlight and a layer of Whisper White that I cut 1/2 centimetre shorter and narrower, and a scrap of Misty Moonlight that is 3/4 of an inch wide, and I'm going for inches here because inches is how this punch works. So 3/4 of an inch is kind of the middle groove, and I'm trying to convert that into metric. Hurts my head, I'm sure. Hello Julie, nice to see you. I'm sure that it is possible. I just can't do it in my head. So that's 3/4 of an inch wide and infinitely long because it doesn't matter. So I made my mum a wreath card for her friend, and I thought that it's one of those techniques that I really like with small image stamps like this. So I need a bunch of little stamps, which I've already got mounted up, something round, and a pencil. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my something round, which is this is the largest circle die from the Stitch Shapes die pack, just because it's conveniently handy, because this is one of those die sets that never leaves my desk because I use it so often. So I have drawn a circle in pencil, simple as that. Then all I'm going to do is stamp round that circle. Really, really simple. So I'm going to stamp first in Just Jade. Hello Jacqueline, lovely to see you, and thank you for joining me for the first time. Anybody else, any other first time viewers on this evening? So there's more of you than usual, so I don't know what's quite happened, but that's fine. So I have inked this stamp up in Just Jade, and I'm going to stamp it off because for me it's a bit dark. If I show you, it's just a bit too dark, and it's because it's a brand new ink pad and it's really well inked. But I'm going to just go around this circle with my leaves. Now this, quite cleverly, just about makes a circle on its own. Isn't that clever? That was not planned. That magically happened when I made this card at the weekend. And I was, as you can imagine, rather pleased with that. So I'm then going to stamp with, see, can you tell I've not planned this particularly well, Bumblebee, which I have not stamped at all, not inked this one. So I'm going to stamp it once on my grid paper because I want to see exactly what kind of colour it is first. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to stamp again around the circle. And I'm going to wiggle a little bit so I've got kind of leaves that are coming in different directions. Just so it doesn't all look too much the same. And I really like that kind of layered look. So you can see you've got that Just Jade colour and then you've got the Bumblebee on the top, but it still works. It still looks nice. So one of the things with the ink pads is when you get them for home first time, they can be a bit stiff. And when your hand's in a splint, it can be a bit awkward. But normally they're okay and they do free up quite quickly. Then I'm going to, no, I'm not going to take Misty Moonlight, I don't want that colour. I want Magenta Madness. Now I have not stamped this yet and it is pink. This is quite possibly the pinkest pink I think I've ever seen. The cardstock I haven't got to hand, but it is really bright. So, oh gosh, look at that. Isn't that a fantastic colour? Love that a lot. So I'm going to stamp these flowers just around my wreath. And this, of course, would work with loads and loads of different stamp sets and loads of different colours. And you would make a different card every single time because you're never going to stamp in the same place twice, because unless you're some kind of magical miracle woman, never going to happen. So that's that. And I've forgotten two very important things for this card that are over on my other desk. I'm going to grab them. And they are and I've of course lost it as well. Oh, there it is. A white eraser and my dimensionals. And I've been thinking for about half an hour before going live, I need to grab the dimensionals because they're on my wrong desk. Did I bother? No. So, white eraser, really gently, and actually this isn't too bad, but sometimes you can really see that pencil if you push down hard. But that pencil will erase from underneath the ink. Just get rid of it, just so you've not got, and then it just looks like magic. It's like you've magically stamped that in a circle. Just by magic. It's great. So I'm going to take my strip of Misty Moonlight. Now I've already gone ahead and heat embossed a couple of sentiments on coloured cardstock in white embossing powder, and I've done it ahead of time just because I don't like doing heat embossing with the gun on video. I just think it hurts my ears when I watch other people do it, and so I tend to do it ahead of time. So this punch is really clever because you've got two different label shapes, and then different widths as well. So we're going to do the middle ones today. And I'm going to use this one first. So all you need to do is slot your piece of cardstock in and push it along and punch. Now, if I turn it over, you can see it. What I tend to do with these is I tend to watch the other side and make sure that my stamping hasn't come through, like that. And it hasn't. And actually, it's still a bit too long. So I'm going to do it again. And that's fine. Just punch it off. There we go. And we've got a lovely, really cute little end. And we can assemble our card. So, got that card base in Misty Moonlight. And I'm really sorry because I forgot to order the new seal adhesive on my pre-order. I'm still using snail. But I've got to use it up anyway. So, I'm sure you've still got some at home. So the refills aren't available for this anymore. Stampin' Up have completely moved over to the new seal adhesive, which is in my I'm not supposed to call it autumn winter anymore, are we? August to December mini catalogue pre-order, which I haven't put in yet, but I will be putting in this week. So I've put that layer is on my card. I'm going to take a couple of dimensionals. put one on the end, and then like that, which I completely did off camera. And then I'm going to put my finger at the end of the sentiment, and I'm going to put it a little bit further on, like so, just so that I've got that sentiment not quite on the edge. Oh, knock my glass of water over. And then just going to line that sentiment up. Like, oh, I always use my grid paper to line myself up, so I then get things straight. There we go. And then all I need to do is flip my card over and trim that bit of excess off, like that. There we go. One card, really quick and easy. So shall we make another one? I think we should. So that is card number 1. I shall just put it so you can still see it. Right, so the second one, I have got a card base in Bumblebee, which is lovely. I love this colour. It's really bright and fun. Love that. Yellow as a kid, yellow was my absolute favourite colour. Could not live without yellow. I've then got another layer of Whisper White and another pre-stamped sentiment on another strip that is 3/4 of an inch tall. So this one, I'm going to do a bit of masking. And what else have I forgotten? My post-it notes. So bear with. I have got post-it notes, and these live in my craft room all the time. Post-it notes that they're not just sticky at that top bit, they're sticky all the way along. And all I'm going to do is take my Stampin' trimmer, which of course I have got on my desk, and this trimmer's still a bit stiff. I am going to chop off 1 inch of my post-it, like that, and I'm going to do that twice. So because I just need it to be a little bit wider. So, and you could do this with regular post-it note, it would still work. You just need to do it off 2 post-it notes rather than 1, so that you've got kind of a sticky bit that you can stick it to. I have before as well had post-it tape, but I don't quite remember where that's got put. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my piece of Whisper White on my grid paper again, and I'm going to stick one of these pieces of post-it tape that I've created on like that, and then I'm going to stick this one over the top. So I've now got a kind of masked inch all the way across my card. Where did I get these from, Julie? I think I only shop in one of 2 places. I shop in Tesco's or I shop on Amazon, so it will be one of those 2 places. I've had them for quite a long time, I do admit, but I cannot imagine that they've gone anywhere. You might find them somewhere like Smith's as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly, now I've done that, I need to clean my stamps, because I want to use different colours with the same stamp. So I've got my Stampin' Scrub and my Stampin' Mist, and I'm just going to squirt that on. This is the best gadget in the world. I love it. I need some more Stampin' Mist, actually. That's running out. And I'm just going to clean those off so I can use them again. Like that. Right, what colour should we use this time? Let's have Cinnamon Cider, I think. Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade and Bumblebee, I think sounds like a good plan. So, Cinnamon Cider first. And I'm going to stamp. I've got a slightly different stamp. I've got this one, which you can't really see because it's stamped. It's on a block I've previously used as a palette for shimmer paint. But how pretty is that stamp? I think that's lovely. So I'm going to stick that back on my block, and I'm going to stamp this one in Cinnamon Cider. I stamp off once again just to see what the colour is. I'm going to stamp off, I think they're a bit dark. So just all the way along in that stamped off cinnamon sand. It's a very pretty colour though, isn't it? And it doesn't matter what kind of what happens on that post-it tape, because we're going to take that off. It's just masking our yeah, that bit of the card. So I've done that bit. I then want my Just Jade back again, and there's this really pretty stamp as well that I think is really sweet, so I'm going to stamp that a couple of times, and every time I stamp I'm making sure that it touches, at least touches this bit with the post-it, and I'm stamping straight on this time, whereas last time I did it stamped off, didn't I? So that's dark, and I'm only doing 5 because I like odd numbers. Odd numbers looks nice to my head, so I tend to stamp. If I'm going to repeat stamp, I'll stamp in odd numbers. And then I'm going to take that cute little flower again, and I'm going to stamp that in Bumblebee, and I'm going to stamp this completely off, so it's kind of away from that tape. There. And then, oh, these ink pads are really stiff. It would not be a problem normally, but it is a problem today. So, I peel that off there, and then peel this tape back. Now, post-it tape isn't massively sticky, but what I tend to do is take a little bit off and then put it down on, like, back onto itself, and then pull it, and that will damage the paper that you're pulling it off of less. So I'll do the same on the other side. So pull it back on itself and then run your finger along like that, and there is no damage at all on that bit. But if we've got that lovely crisp clean white section, then I've got my sentiment strip again, and I'm going to punch it with the other side of the punch. I'm going to trim it down a little bit first when I can find my scissors. Why is it every time you start crafting your desk explodes into a mess? Or is that just me? Does that happen to anybody else? So again, I'm going to turn it over to stamp it so that I can make sure I'm not stamping on the sentiment bit itself. And the other side, like that. How sweet is that? Love that. And you can see it's completely different from the sentiment piece that we did earlier on. Love that. So that'll go there. And all I'm going to do, once again, with my retired snail, bit of adhesive on the back, onto there, and then a couple of dimensionals on the back of my sentiment strip. And these cards, because they're kind of random, and they can't, these sort of cards come together really quickly. So let's just try and get that in the middle. That'll do. How cute are they? Love those. So we have one more card. And again, I haven't got a sample of it because it is just in my brain. Well, it's not actually just in my brain. I've designed these cards first. This is what I do. This is how I craft. I tend to draw the cards out first. If anybody can make head or tail out of those card sketches, half the time you're better than me, because I'll draw these sketches and then I won't make them for 6 weeks. And then I come back to them and go, what on earth was in my head? Luckily, I did only sketch those about an hour and a half ago, so I do remember. So, the last card I thought we would make is this one with Just Jade. Again, I've got a layer of Whisper White. Now, I did find a card very similar to this on Pinterest, and I can't decide if it's a Stampin' Up sample or another demonstrator sample. So I'm not claiming it as my own. I'm not claiming these as my own either. These card designs have been around for a very long time, but I think they're really cute with this stamp set. So first things first, and move everything out of the way again. And we're going to stamp randomly across the cardstock this time. Because, Sam, I'm really glad I'm not the only one that just makes messy sketches everywhere. So I'm going to use Magenta Madness, Just Jade, and Misty Moonlight this time. So let's stamp with Just Jade first, but again, I need to clean my stamps because I'm using the same stamps again. So that one, and that one, and that one. Love the Stampin' Scrub for really quick cleaning. It makes things much easier. I nearly grabbed baby wipes because I've got mountains of the things. And then when actually, Stampin' Scrub's just as quick as baby wipes. And it conditions your red rubber at the same time, whereas your baby wipes don't. So I'm going to take this lovely stamp set, individual stamp again, and I'm going to stamp it kind of diagonally across, but quite randomly. And this is one of those cards that's probably going to look an absolute mess until it's finished. So I'm going to stamp in Just Jade again, but I'm going to stamp off this time. And you can see that completely different tone that you get from stamping off. And that second generation, which I just think is so pretty. Which is there. Then I'm going to take this leaf stamp and I'm going to stamp in Misty Moonlight. I'm going to stamp this off as well. I'm going to also put my hand straight through it so it'll smear everywhere and I'll end up with ink all over my fingers. And I've forgotten to stamp off that time. Never mind. I'll do one other full strength one up here. There. Can you see this looks an absolute mess? It will look tidy when I've finished. I promise. Right, you've got to trust me on this one. Trust me, I'm a demonstrator. Is that a thing? Should be a thing, shouldn't it? And then we're going to stamp in Magenta Madness again with that fabulous bright pink. That I have to admit, when it first arrived, I did go, is that a bit Melon Mambo? It's really not. It's brighter than Melon Mambo, and I thought Melon Mambo was the brightest pink I'd ever seen. So this is just a little bit mental. So there we go. One more, that'll do. Oh. So now then, this time I haven't pre-stamped my sentiment, so I need to move everything off, and I'm going to just... Are they the same length? They are. So I'm going to trim my Whisper White piece so that all my pieces of cardstock are the same length first. Just like that. And then I have a sentiment that says, which I think is really sweet and really perfect for this, for the moment and the way things are in the world. Miles apart, but still in my heart, I think is lovely. There we go. I'm going to stamp that in. Oh, what colour? That's really hard, isn't it? What colour to stamp in? Let's go for pink. I'm feeling pink at the minute. We're about to decorate Neeb's toddler bedroom. And it's going to be pink. And I'm very excited. She's not. She has no idea what's happening. But I cannot wait. So... that is slightly wonky, but that's okay because you know why? It's hand stamped and handmade, and if it was all absolutely perfectly square all the time, it wouldn't look hand stamped and handmade, would it? Just wouldn't. So I'm going to take my what's it called? This lovely label Pick-a-Punch, I think. It is on, I've already written, this is how organised I am today, I have already written the blog post that goes along with this video. And it is on there already. So I'm going to punch the ends of each one of these strips. So I'm just going to turn this one over again and make sure that I'm not punching on my stamped pieces. No, loads of room on there. And trying to punch with a new punch with a dodgy hand is not the easiest thing in the world. Really isn't. So there we go. Right. So I've now got 3. I love that my phone chooses to pick this moment to remind me I need to take my 20-week pregnancy photograph. I also love that my phone thinks I'm going to do that. Oh, sorry if it went buzz or made a funny noise at that point. It might not have done because I've got it on silent, but I just don't know. Oh, does anybody else's phone remind them of weird things? Notifications drive me insane. So I fold that piece of cardstock in half. I'm then going to attach my lovely stamped piece that still looks a mess, and I know it looks a mess, on to the front. And then we're going to do some magic. So I think I'm going to pop the Misty Moonlight one down first, just there. See, it doesn't look quite as much of a mess now. Then I'm going to put the Just Jade one here. And then I'm going to take a few dimensionals, because I've managed to pull 3 off at once, onto the back of that sentiment strip. And put that there. Still doesn't look a mess now. How cute is that? Love that. So that is 3 really sweet, really quick and easy cards using that fabulous, lovely You stamp set. I hope that you have enjoyed this week's Facebook Live. I am about to upload it onto YouTube, so that should also be up tonight. If you want to watch again, you can always rewatch at any time, and I will see you again next Wednesday, providing I don't have another breakdown day like I did yesterday, at 7:30. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.